to Knitwhim Diaries. Today is October 27th, Monday, and I'm your host, Knitwhim. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who has subscribed to my video blog. I'm very happy about that, thank you very much, and also to returning viewers. And I hope that new viewers will enjoy what they see. I'm going to do a little bit of recording and then stop and like preview it. There's like a caterpillar legit digging holes in the yard of the neighbors across the street. I recorded in my garage, had the garage door open for lighting. It's really loud. I don't know if it's too loud for you guys. So we're gonna do a little bit and see what happens. So hi, what's going on with you? I had a unplanned, completely unexpected trip to a fiber festival. Amanda texted me, I think it was on Friday afternoon, asking me if I was free on Sunday to go to SAFF, Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair. I had no idea it was even going on, but it was awesome. Oh my god, it was so great. We went, it was 3 hours from where we live, so it was a bit of a drive, but it was totally worth it. And I picked up a bunch of stuff. So I'll be showing you my haul at the end of this video. But until then, no finished objects yet, but really close. And my work's in progress coming up. Hey again. I'm not sure if that noise was actually loud enough to bother you guys, but it was seriously distracting me. So we're just gonna call it a day and record in my living room. For now, that means all of my stuff is on the floor and I have to bend over to reach it, but you'll live. So works in progress, Binnock sweater number 2. Pretty much haven't made a whole lot of progress on it. I finished the ribbing on the front and I have to just do the shaping for the shoulders and then I'll be done with the front, and then I still have to do the whole back. So not a whole lot of progress, but I'm working on it, making one stitch at a time. So there's that one, and I'm hoping I can finish it this week. We'll see what happens. I have another test coming up, so I'm gonna be studying more. Okay, next up, works in progress. The Something Pretty blanket is going also at a slow pace. I did 3 more squares. Ta-da! They're the same as last time, so I'm not going to focus too much on them. That brings my total up to 57. Yay! So I guess I'll pause here to talk about a new game that I've discovered. It is, you can play it online, and it's also a smartphone app. It's called habitrpg, and it's a to-do list app. So you create a to-do list. I don't know if you can see it, the light's glaring on it. You create a to-do list, and then you have a little avatar that gains experience and levels up as you complete things on your to-do list. So you can see video blog is on there, and like on my dailies list, I have both Be Something Pretty Square is on there and spinning is on there. You can see I've already spun today. So it's kind of cute. It just helps you keep track of, you know, what you want to do, and some accountability. If you fail to do something on your list, your character loses hit points, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of cute. So yeah, so all that to say, I do have make a square a day from the Something Pretty blanket as one of my dailies. So I have to make one in order to not lose health. So that's pretty fun. I have a bunch of spinning works in progress. The main one that I almost finished over the weekend on the car ride to and from SAFF is my Polworth Rolegs that I made. I finished spinning the singles. So this is my second drop spindle worth of singles, and all I have to do now is play them on my wheel. I'm hoping I can do that later today. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll have a finished yarn to show you next week. Also in spinning works in progress, I do still have the gourmet stash also on a spindle, but I didn't touch it because I did this for 6 hours on Sunday instead. And that's because one of my coworkers at work has Angora rabbits and he wants to learn how to spin. and he told me that he has a pound of Angora that he's been saving up, and asked me if I knew anything about spinning, and so I wanted to clear this spindle so that he could borrow it to learn how to spin. Because he asked me how much my wheel cost, and there was definitely a sticker shock moment when I said the price to him. He was not expecting it to be that much. So a spindle is much more approachable for a beginner. So my other spinning work in progress is this on my wheel. I'm gonna just tilt over here. I'm still working on this. This is how much I have left to spin, but this is how much I have on the bobbin. So I don't know if you can see, it's almost full. There's no way I'm gonna be able to fit all that on there. So I just want to clear my wheel because I'm starting a sow with the totally arbitrary, totally twisted and arbitrary group. Man, that group is so complicated to say. And I want to be able to spin that. So whatever fits in the bobbin, I'll finish and I'll ply, and then I'll just have a little bit left of fluff and I'll spin it later. I'm not gonna spin that small little bit. I'm gonna just start my sow. So bringing that in, the fiber for the sow came in the mail last week. I got 2 braids of, what did I get? I think I got the Superwash Merino. And look, they come with these cute cards, like this pretty little piece of art on the front, and then on the back, it's all ready to be filled out so that you know how you spun the fiber. And it gives you a place to put who the dyer was and what the colorway is, and then like how you applied it, and just all sorts of wonderful information. If you're the kind of person who forgets what you did with your projects, or like you don't enter stuff into Ravelry as you go, like I usually go ahead and start entering stuff into a project on Ravelry as I'm working on it, so it's there. But it's a really cool idea. So I got 2 braids. The first one is Antarctica. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I just can't help myself with these bright blues and the white, and I love any place where the turquoise and the black touch. Just makes me so happy. So my goal for this is I'm going to chain ply it, and I think what I'm going to do is, oh god, it's so soft. Oh man, she did a really good job dyeing this. See how long these color repeats are? Oh, now that I'm unbraiding it, I'm torn about. So my original plan was I was going to rip this down the center and chain ply it just in half so that the color repeats are a little bit shorter. But looking at it like this, I'm like, well, I mean, even if I cut it in half like that, yeah, that's still a pretty decent length of color repeat. But now I'm like, oh, I could have longer color repeats. Oh, now I'm conflicted. My original plan was to split it in half and chain ply it with just shorter color repeats. But either way, I'm going to chain ply it because I love chain plying. And oh my god, it's so gorgeous. And I'm unbraiding it because, wow, I love touching it. And then the second colorway, I know it's not as exciting because it's brown, but I love brown. Brown is pretty too. This is the New Zealand colorway, and it's very lovely. You know, you get your little tan bits here, and then some of the browns are like almost purple on there, so that's really gorgeous. And now I have to unbraid this one too and see what it's. See, it's just so lovely. This one I won't even bother to split in half because you can already see the color repeats are pretty short. But my plan is to try to aim for like a fingering-ish weight, and then I'm thinking I want to knit something that's striping between these two, because I feel like the browns and the blues, and I think it'll work out really well in my head. So those are my plans for the spin along after I finish this crap. I mean, this is really nice. This is Lourdes Laces Merino. It's very soft. I've been working on it for a very long time because I stopped halfway through and spun something else, and now I'm back to it, and it was like 6 or 8 ounces, so it was just a lot of the same color, which, you know, I get bored easily. I have to do lots of things. So we went to SAFF, and Amanda and I have gone to a couple of fiber festivals in and around Georgia, and they've all been kind of small and a little disappointing. I'm from Maryland, and I'm used to going to Maryland Sheep and Wool, and it is huge. They've got live sheep, And all of the vendors, like there's so many vendors, and they're like really high quality stuff, and they have like a whole barn practically of just like fiber, like whole fleeces that are just really good quality, award-winning fleeces. And so a lot of the fiber festivals that we've gone to have been small, and they've had a lot of vendors that were like startups or beginner vendors, which, you know, no offense to people who are starting up, I'm attempting to, like, I want to sell my own fiber at some point, but I'm still learning how to do it right. And a lot of the startup vendors selling at these smaller events are clearly still learning, and they're selling their stuff at the same price as like a really well-known person like Knitty and Color, but their stuff is not anywhere near that quality. And so we've been a little disappointed in a lot of the events that we went to. But SAFF, holy crap, it might be bigger than Maryland Sheep and Wool. I'm gonna have to go online and like find out. It was really close. It was huge. There were a lot of vendors there. A lot of them were selling alpaca, which is not my thing, but apparently alpaca is pretty big around this area. And there was still a pretty large chunk of vendors that were just like, oh, I'm not buying that. But mostly vendors selling raw fiber. A lot of people around here have sheep, and they seem to either be raising sheep as a hobby, or they're primarily like a meat sheep, and then they're trying to sell the fiber on the side. And it's just like, you can't sell that fiber for the same price as what you would sell premium merino, right? But there's still a lot of really good stuff there. The lunch there was really great. It had this great chili with cornbread and a bottle of water for only $3. I don't even know how they make money selling it for that cheap. And then, oh my God, there's so many looms, all the weaving. We found out about a really awesome fiber arts guild that we might be joining in the future. And also we found out about new events happening in April that, oh my God. And just talking to people who get it, so good. We really enjoy talking to the vendors, and we're just so sad that we couldn't buy everything. Like every time you talk to a vendor, you're like, oh, I want to buy her stuff. We were on a very tight budget, but we enjoyed talking to all of the vendors. They were very nice and very helpful. And oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say about SAFF because it was great. It was great. I loved it. I was very good, and I only got 2 things from SAFF. The one booth that I wanted to avoid at all costs was Knitty and Color, because I did see on Instagram, she posted a picture of these purple Tibetan spindles, and I was just like, oh my God, if she still has those, I'm gonna have to buy one, and I don't need any more spindles. I have 5 already, and I have 3 Tibetans, and thank God we went on Sunday, and it had already been running Friday and Saturday. So when we got to her booth, she did not have them anymore. Thank God. But I did buy some Rolex from her. Oh, and I should have brought my Rolex out here. So I'm still not happy with the Rolex that I'm making. So I bought some from her. I bought 2 packs, and they're 1 ounce each. So she was selling them for like between $11 to $12 for 1 ounce. Just they're all like a little bit more than 1 ounce. So somewhere around $11 or $12 per package, and it's roughly 1 ounce, maybe 1.2 or 1.4. And the content is Angelina, bamboo, Firestar, merino, and silk. And I'm gonna open this. These are so much better than the ones that I make. You can just see how uniform they are and how airy they are, and you can just tell that these are going to draft really nice. And I'm really excited about spinning these. I'm really excited. So, teach me your skills. So that's one, and Amanda got a whole bunch more from her, so I'm sure you'll be hearing about that. All of her stuff was just gorgeous. And this is Knitty and Color. And then the other thing that I got was a vendor that I'd never heard of before, which I was kind of sad about because her stuff was phenomenal. And like you can tell, like just from a distance, it was just like, that booth is going to be special, even before you had approached it. Their name is Euphoric Euphoric Fibers, sorry. And oh my gosh. So once we got closer, one of the vendors was handing out fiber samples. So we're walking along, we're staring at the booth because it looks gorgeous even from a distance, and we hear this voice going, "Do you want a fiber sample?" And we're like, "Fiber sample? Yes, please, fiber sample." So she had a braid, a fiber, and she just pulled out a fluff and handed it to us. She's like, "Here you go, free fiber sample." What? And I mean, like, we were already eyeballing her stuff, and you just like felt this in your hand, and it's just, can you see that? Oh, the light is like in it. This stuff is to die for. It's amazing. It's got all this, it's airy, and it's just perfectly aligned, and oh my god, I cannot say enough stuff about this. Like, it makes you salivate just touching it. It's like, this is heaven fiber. Like, where do you go to get heaven fiber like this? It's amazing. So she had 3 different bases of fiber, and I really wanted to get one of each because they all sounded amazing. But I went ahead and got the one that was the same as the fiber sample, because it's like, I'm sure all of your stuff is good, but I'm holding this fiber sample in my hand and it's amazing, and I think I'm gonna die. So I got it, and it is a merino, nylon, and bamboo blend. And here it is. You can see her label, Euphoric Fibers. And here is the braid, and it has all these purples. And another really cool thing that they did was that some of their braids are dyed like to be gradients and folded in half, so that if you just spin each half and then ply them on each other, you have a perfect gradient yarn. And so they're like already like dyed that way and folded in half. So like, FYI, if you want to do that, it's already like super easy for you to do. I mean, it wasn't all of their braids, but they pointed out the ones that were dyed like that, and I thought that was super cool that they were thinking about the spinner and how they were going to approach the spinning during the dyeing process. So, oh my god. Yeah, they also had a merino tinsel blend, and I think the other one was a merino silk blend. So, oh my god, they were so gorgeous. And they had these lace shawls on display that were knit out of their hand spun with various different bases of their fiber. And one was this giant circular lace weight shawl. It was various shades of browns, and she said that it took 4 braids of fiber to spin all the yarn for that. And it was so gorgeous. It had beads in it. Oh my god, it was amazing. It was like, not only do you knit like a goddess, but you obviously spun like a goddess in order to get the yarn to knit that. And then of course you're responsible for the fiber, and that fiber was amazing. And I was just dying from all of the amazingness in that booth. And oh my god, it was so great. Oh my god. We did check out Gale's Art's booth too, because Gale's art is amazing and I love her. I didn't get anything though, because like I said, I'm on an insanely tight budget. I know who Gale's Art is. I've bought her stuff before. I know how to get her stuff in the future. So that's definitely going to happen, but I was definitely scouting out for things that were different that I hadn't spun before. So that's why I didn't pick up anything from her this trip, but I definitely went and visited because I love her and she's amazing. And fun note, I got on my cell phone to like play around on Ravelry at the event, and my phone has to ask permission to join a wireless network. And so whenever I enter a new building, it like pops up all the wireless networks that are available. Gale, your phone was emitting a wireless network that I could potentially have joined. I didn't, but it was there. It was like Gale's phone. I'm like, that's cool. So anyway, that was interesting. So that is pretty much all I have for now. Hopefully I will have finished the yarn on my wheel and started the Spin Along project for next recording. And also on the habitrpg game, I have like 4 new projects to cast on my to-do list. So if I could cast on everything on my to-do list, I'll have like 4, like, here is the 3 rows I've knit on my new project to show you next week. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. I am about to wind off some singles from my supported spindles, and I thought I would do a short video on it. So I spun some singles on 2 supported spindles, and I've decided that I want to chain ply them. I was originally going to do a 2-ply, but this spindle has significantly more on it, and so I would end up with a lot of extra. So I'm going to chain ply them, and I'm going to do it on my wheel. So how am I going to wind off these bobbins, or these spindles, onto a bobbin? In the past, I've been doing it by hand. This is incredibly stupid, but this is what I have been doing to wind on to a bobbin in order to ply on my wheel. However, I saw a lovely and talented lady on Instagram recently doing something better, and I'm going to show you that method today. I'm going to attach the end of the singles on my spindle to some random yarn that is attached to my bobbin on my wheel. And I'm going to wind this off onto my wheel. I've got the tension set so that it's just enough to pull the fiber on, but it's not really creating a whole lot of twist. So I'm actually going to tie a knot in this. So I'm feeding the yarn onto the bobbin on my wheel through the orifice hook from off of my spindle. And once again, the goal is not to add twist, but simply to wind it onto the bobbin. This is a much faster and easier way of winding onto the bobbin.